why did my wife, Emmaline, decide to go ahead and get this tattoo? I have a few questions, 3 questions that have to be answered. And we're going to start right now. Emmaline, the first question that I want to ask you, why did you get the tattoo to begin with?
Okay, so why did I get a tattoo? So as you guys know, my son passed away in April. And so I got the tattoo basically as a remembrance of my son Malachi. I think for me, it was just more part of the grieving process. I just wanted baby Malachi a part of me, a part of my life in some way. And I figured that, you know what, why not tattoo something and to represent him, to remember him. I thought about it a lot before I did it. I prayed about it. And it's all because of, how I grew up, me being Christian and all the legalism part towards it. I don't want to get it, but I eventually got it.
Okay, this is my second question that I want to ask you is this. Would you say that your tattoo brings attention to you, more attention to God, as opposed to yourself?
So the tattoo definitely don't bring attention to me. Tattoo is not a new thing. Everybody gets tattoo. Not everybody, but most people get tattoos. It's not about the attention to me. However, it could bring attention to God, because if someone sees this tattoo and they ask me, hey, who's this Malachi, like a wings, his footprint? It give me the opportunity to give them my testimony in what I've been through, losing baby Malachi and the whole process, the whole grieving process, and how God was so faithful, how God was so just, and how God never left me even when I didn't want to hear anything about God after losing Malachi. God never left me. He kept pushing, and I've seen God in a different way after losing Malachi. So it's my testimony, and I'm willing to share it with other mom out there. Whoever asks me about this tattoo, I'm willing to share my story and my journey.
And my third question that needs to be answered in order for this to make any sense at all is this. Do you believe that God would be in agreement? Do you believe that God will endorse whatever your tattoo is projecting to the world, projecting to those who are actually, or who actually come into an encounter with your tattoo?
Definitely, God will be in agreement with the message I'm trying to portray. Because this tattoo have so many meaning. Like, it's just a tattoo, guys. Right? It's just Malachi footprint and the wing. So if someone asked me about this tattoo, and there's so much thing I could say about tattoo. Oh, why did you give it a wing? Like, I believe Malachi is in heaven, and one day I will see him again, and the wing represent an angel. So there's so much direction I could go with this tattoo. I could talk about how most people that have lost a loved one, how they turn away from God and they turn away from the faith because they blame God. God, why did you take my loved one away from me, right? So I could also give them encouragement that, hey, things happen and we cannot always blame God, but there is a purpose and a reason for everything. And sometimes we don't want to say it's the will of God, but that's the will of God for your life. And instead of just dwelling on it, maybe seeking God more and asking him, why did you allow this to happen, and finding your purpose. So there's so much direction I could go, and there's so much I could tell people, and I think it will be projecting God, and God will be pleased with the message.
I did make a video a little while back about if whether or not getting a tattoo is a sin, so make sure to check out that video link. And in that video, these are the 3 essential questions that I ask those Christians who choose to go this route. But guess what, guys? I do have a few bonus questions that I want to ask Emmaline in regards to this tattoo. And my first bonus question is this. How did your family react when you got your tattoo?
So when I got the tattoo, I was really excited that I finally got it. And anyways, so I sent pictures to my family back home and they couldn't believe it. They're like, that's not you, that's fake, right? And they're like, my dad is like, oh, Christians don't get tattoo. And my brother was like, oh, you're a backslider now. Sorry. And my sister was like, Christians don't get tattoo. Why you get tattoo? Oh, you're not a Christian anymore, or stuff like that. And I'm like, and I did expect that. I expected that because some people, they don't believe Christians should get tattoo. They believe tattoo is a sin, and I expected those comments. But then I knew why I get it, and I know what the Word of God say, and it gave me an opportunity to tell them, hey, tattoo is not a sin. For example, the unclean meats.
Yeah, we eat shrimp.
We shave our hair.
You'll find that also when it comes down to clothing or knitting, different type of fabrics together. The children of Israel were commissioned when they go into the promised land to not do these kind of things. Not all of it applies to the new covenant believer.
And I'm not here trying to justify tattoo. Hey, go get tattoo and tattoo your body, tattoo your face.
That's the next question I want to ask you. What would you say to those who are considering to get a tattoo? Would you recommend a tattoo for anybody who just wants to get it?
No, I wouldn't recommend a tattoo. Like, there's some people that just do the silliest tattoo. Like, it have no meaning. I'm not gonna go tell you go tattoo a teardrop on your eye.
Well, it might be a meaning to some people.
Maybe, but right. There's some things that I see some tattoo and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Mm. I'm not encouraging anyone to get a tattoo. If you want to get it because there's some deeper meaning behind it or whatever, that's between you and God, right? Me getting this is between me and God and my convictions, right? So I'm not encouraging tattoo. I'm not encouraging anyone to go get a tattoo. Anything that you do should be glorifying to God. God should have a place in it. God should have peace of what you're doing, because our life should be a living example of Christ. Our life should glorify God in everything. Everything that you do on this earth should represent God, should glorify God, should lead someone back to God. Everything should be pointing to God. That's why I'm saying I don't want to encourage anyone to go get tattoo. If your tattoo is pointing to the world or your tattoo is pointing to sin, definitely don't get a tattoo. Your life is a reflection of God. Okay, so that's the bottom line, right?
Though I myself am not a huge fan of getting a tattoo, more likely than not, that's not gonna happen. At least not at this
You guys
time.
Gonna see a teardrop right here.
Well, maybe. Who knows, right? Who knows?
Represent what?
Well, who knows, man? We'll see what the future holds. But as for now, Mike is not trying to go that route. Anyways, guys, once again, as I mentioned, I do have another video in regards to this topic. Make sure to check that out. Like, share, and subscribe to Aim High with Mike and Emma. Y'all already know. It's all love. Until next time, peace.